Hi again, everyone. Today I thought I'd show you guys an old Euro hinge drilling jig that I created quite a few years ago. And with all the fix and flips and remodels I've done for people, I've used this jig a lot to save my clients a lot of money on a kitchen or bath remodel. Now, I know, a lot of the online shows, they show people walking into a kitchen or bathroom and just taking a sledgehammer to the cabinets. Why would you ever destroy what are probably solid hardwood cabinets and replace them with the particle board cabinet that's available today? I just don't get it. So what does this jig do? Here's a before picture of a recent remodel that I did for a client. As you can see in the zoomed in image, the original cabinet's doors had surface mounted hinges. Since we were going to recondition these unique doors and cabinets and paint them, I made the suggestion, hey, since we're going to go to all that work, why don't we go ahead and drill the doors out for Euro hinges so that they'll be self-closing and they'll be hidden. And here's an after shot of the same doors and cabinets painted with Euro hinges installed. Here's the Euro hinge jig that I made several years ago. The wood is melamine to give the top a slick surface. The stops and track hardware I sourced from an online retailer whose name starts with an A. The fence of the jig is supported by corner brackets, so the fence stays firmly at a 90-degree angle. Now for a closer look at the details of the jig. Since I hang this jig up when I'm not using it, I drilled a hole in the corner of the jig table so I can hang it on a dowel bracket in my shop or on pegboard. In the end of the table, I drilled a hole to store the 35mm bit used to drill the recess for the Euro hinge. I also made a setup jig out of MDF to help align the jig in my drill press and also set the depth of the 35mm drill bit. I also drilled a hole in this setup jig so I can hang it with the main jig. Now to install the jig on your drill press, install the 35mm bit in the drill press chuck. Set the main jig and the setup jig on the table of the drill press like you see here. Next, lower the drill bit into the alignment hole on the setup jig, moving the main jig around to allow the drill bit to go into the alignment hole. Make sure the setup jig stays tight to the fence of the main jig and between the two flip levers on the main jig while positioning it. Next, set the depth stop of your drill press to make sure you don't drill your doors too deep. This is what the depth adjustment looks like on my 80-year-old Rockwell drill press. Still running like a champ. You may need to adjust the depth after you drill the holes for your hinges. I'll show you how the hinge should look installed in just a minute. Now it's time to clamp down the jig to the table of the drill press. I actually set up the table of the jig so that it has room in the back so you can clamp it down. Here I'm installing the left side clamp. I'm using C clamps because I can really crank them down tight. To make sure the jig doesn't move while drilling doors, some of the doors can be pretty big and heavy. I install a second clamp on the right side of the jig also. Now that the jig is secured to the drill press table, it's time to drill the doors. I'm using a scrap piece of 3/4 inch plywood here to simulate a door. Start by having one or the other flip stop in the down position. Drill the hole to the depth of the stop you set on the drill press. Now flip the right stop up and the left stop down. Drill the hole for the second hinge. There, that's how to drill holes in a door to accept Euro hinges. As for the hinges that I use, I like to style with removable plates because you can buy different height plates depending on the overlay that you want. Usually I don't do the soft closed hinges unless the customer insists on them, because the little cylinder in the soft closed hinge wears out pretty quickly. Here I'm installing the Euro hinge. The cup of the hinge is about 5mm or 3/16 from the edge of the door. For softwood doors, you probably don't have to pre-drill the screw holes, but for hardwood doors, especially old doors, you should pre-drill the screw holes to keep the wood from splitting. And there you have it, a simple jig made several years ago that I've used to drill an untold number of doors. Great little rig if you're doing remodeling for clients, or if you're just simply doing your own kitchen and bath remodel. Now, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button below. Also, please leave comments with questions or ideas for other videos you'd like to see. Well, thanks for watching and see you tomorrow.